Good afternoon everybody and welcome to Plough Lane for 9yrsTV, bringing you all the build-up to this afternoon's League 2 action between AFC Wimbledon and Doncaster Rovers. I'm Nick Draper, I'm joined by my right by Rob Boyce and to my left by Matt Harwood, and we will be discussing team news and predictions and looking back over our previous form with Doncaster. But before we do any of that, Spike's going to give us our passes. and we're going to go straight into an interview. Women's team. We're going to go straight into the women's team this week. They kick off their season next Sunday. So Stu earlier caught up with four of the team. He caught up with Faye Baker, Megan Stow, Amy Taylor and Remi Gardner. This is his discussion with the four members of our women's team.
Okay, and we're now joined by the AFC Wimbledon Women's team. Well, not all of them, of course, we're not playing full side, but we're joined. I know you introduce yourselves actually, Amy.
Amy Taylor,
Faye Baker,
Megan Stow, Remi Gardner.
sorry?
Remi Gardner.
So, oh, this is going to be fun. So, welcome to our studio. Welcome to 9 Years. Great to have you on that side of it. So, what brings you to Plough Lane today?
So today we're kind of promoting the women's game ahead of our first game of the season next weekend, giving the fans an opportunity to meet the players, come down to the fan zone and kind of get to know us, see our faces, and then hopefully encourage them to come along and watch us play against hashtag next weekend.
Brilliant. And Megan, fan zone. You've been down to the fan zone before? It's one of our most popular places.
I haven't.
Have you not?
No, I've heard it's where it all goes on.
It's where the party's at.
It's where the party's at, yeah. So no, we're looking forward to it, yeah.
Yeah,
Really good.
you're in for a treat. Remi, are you looking forward to mixing with the fans today?
Yeah, quite nervous.
Shy girl down the end.
Shy girl.
And Amy, you probably picked the hottest day of the year to come and join us. Would you fancy playing out there today, Natalie?
Probably not for 90 minutes. I might do maybe a 20-minute appearance at the end. That might be alright.
If they left the sprinklers on, we'd be alright.
Oh, 100%.
To be fair, I think we'd jump underneath there as well,
Yeah.
on that side of it. So, obviously last season, I know we're going into a new season and we've got the fixtures coming up, the obviously hashtag what a start to the season, also with QPR as well on that side of it. But last season, Amy, not a bad season, was it?
No, not bad at all. Obviously, I came in January after an injury at a previous club.
Yep.
But really welcoming, and obviously I came to games prior to before I joined and stuff. But yeah, like even when I was watching, like I knew the girls were going to do quite well in the season, so it's just nice to join the group and see how well we did. It was a really big bonus as well.
Definitely. So Faye, in terms of, not the greatest start of the season, which gave you a little bit of a catch-up, isn't it, in the sort of league, but if you think about from the first four games, the form going through there was really, really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think if you look at the season as a whole, you could almost say that we lost the league within the first 3 games of the season. We started off, you know, a bit tetchy. We had a new squad and trying to build and gel that kind of in the first 3 games didn't work for us. But then we were actually unbeaten since the 25th of August, leading up to that cup final at the end of the season. And I think for you to turn around and say that you've got the league top goal scorer, the Golden Glove, and you've not lost since the 25th of August, but you finished 3rd, kind of shows you just how tight that season was. And also massive credit to the whole team and the staff and everybody behind the scenes for the journey we went on. It's just disappointing that something so early on effectively cost us what we were aiming for at the end. But it's good foundations to build on. I think we're ready going into the next season. We've learned our lessons from that. We've added new players, but we're in a better position starting wise than we were last season, so it's nothing but excitement.
Definitely, and of course the fun nature to this start interview, I forgot to congratulate you for the goal.
I know, she has to drop that in there.
Took you 6 minutes 32 seconds, but we'll let you
So
off.
we've got any fines going off for every time
It should be actually.
To be fair,
She came up with the fine sheet. So
yeah, I can't be fined because I'm fines master. So
Are you?
we didn't even vote, so we have a board of people.
Fines committee.
The fines committee. And I was like, they're all the people that like will probably not do anything wrong, basically. So
That's the whole point.
So do you so do you go and collect the fines as well if
Yeah, so I'm a bit strict, you know, so I explained what the fines were to the group. I gave them all a fine sheet so no one can say they don't know what it is. I've got my little pot ready, and starting Sunday I'm going around a bit like a ticket collector, you know. I'm going to be the person everyone hates, but at the end of the season when they all wanted to celebrate.
Have you got a card reader?
No, and we don't accept change either. So if your fine's like £7.50 and you bring a tenner, the whole tenner goes in the pot.
That's right. Remi, have you seen the fines list yet?
Yeah.
What are your ones you think you're going to trip up on?
The kit on the way to the games. I'll probably wear the wrong kit.
So Megan, what are the highlights? So I don't know if you've seen the Aston Villa fine list. I think you saw that the Aston Villa astronomical figures. What's the most expensive fine on there, Megan? You remember off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's a fine, isn't it? Yeah. What is that for?
It's for a red card. Obviously, the thing is as well is you've got to make it comparative. So obviously the men's fines in the men's game, the money they're bringing in and they're earning is relative to those fines.
Exactly.
For us, it's not actually about the money. It's about the team building, the kind of messing around beforehand to bring us together as a group. And you know, if you get £700 at the end of the season to put towards a night out to celebrate, then that's what it's more about. So we've gone quite low and quite timid, but we're going to be really strict. So we've even done it. You have to put money in the pot every week if you're in the match day squad. So every week the fine will get a bit of money.
I like that.
But yeah, top one £5 for a red card, and also a £5 if you refuse to sing initiation songs.
Well, we were talking about that. You should do some forfeits. That's the best way. Because money sometimes, like to be fair with George, at times we can probably just put a direct debit for George.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
We don't want to steal your thunder, but we've got that as well. So we do something separately, which is a dice roll, and we have like little challenges. So it might be, okay, I'll send out a text on a Sunday morning and say you've got to bring an item beginning with R from your house. And if you bring the same as somebody else, you have to roll the dice, and then the last two in will do a forfeit. And those forfeits, some are a bit PC, some not so much. So we'll do a highlight reel for the end of the season for you to see.
I like it.
Yeah.
So Megan, I was talking there about the start of the season. That sort of side. I can understand that. 'Cause obviously you need to try and hit the ground running, don't you? So have you, as the team, or has Kevin or anyone done something differently this pre-season? Because let's be fair, the start you've got #QPR.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really tough start. So do you think if you've done anything differently in pre-season to hit the ground running? It's always difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for us as well, what we had last year, like Faye said, it was quite a new squad, and I'd say the core of the team is so well connected. I think we all get on, most importantly, and I think having a good squad and a good team that get on is tough to beat, and that's what's going to get you to the end of the season. There was times where, you know, we were playing with quite scarce squads last year, but we can all agree with that. And you know, even travelling to away games, barely anyone on the bench, and sort of grinding out results. So I think we can go into this knowing that we are fit, strong, and ready to go. And you know, we all on the same page. We all want the same things. Like what Faye was saying about, you know, even the fine situation. That is more to bring us together as a team,
I can see.
and just acknowledge everyone. Like, you know, say hello to everyone. Like, just get into good habits. That, you know, we take it seriously. You know, we want to win. And we do not want to repeat of last year. So I think it's a great start to the season. I think it's a real...
Would you rather go in with the tougher games?
Absolutely. I think sometimes, you know, if you go in and you've got, you know, like an easier team, the team you probably know you can beat, that just lowers your standards. We want to keep our standards up from the moment we step in. And I think, there's no reason why we can't go the full way, but it'll be taking it game by game. And this will be a great start to get us going.
So I remember seeing one of the games. I think one of the games was streamed live. I remember. Didn't lose to them all last year.
No.
On that, and they were good games. They were good. Amy, what did you do? Did you play against them in the end? Obviously coming in from January, I think it was one fixture, wasn't there?
Yeah. So I played the home game. I played them. We drew 0-0. But I watched the FA Cup game that was streamed live. I watched that at home just to see obviously how the girls were getting on and stuff. And I feel like obviously it very much depends on how they've strengthened. Like, there's not been a huge amount out about how they've gone about their pre-season. I've seen a couple of their results of pre-season, but I think we mainly have to focus on ourselves. But the games that we played against them last season, they were competitive. They were really good games. So I think we just have to work from that and just continue to know how we play our game. They could have changed something, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, we focus on ourselves and we'll get the result that we need.
Definitely. So, great run in the FA Play last year. I'm keen to see, I'll start with you, Faye, what were your highlights from that? So I know you played at Solihull, Moors, you're actually now the groundkeeper, groundkeeper for us now, and it's lovely out there. But Faye, what would be your highlight from that run? Was there anything that stood out for you? There was some really interesting moments, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think what was interesting for us was getting the opportunity to play against teams that aren't in our league, and to kind of gauge what the other league strengths are and weaknesses are. I think that was interesting for us. I think going into the final, we were all confident and kind of proud of what we'd achieved in the build-up to that. I think looking back on the final, we had our chances to kind of make it a bit more competitive and nick it, and it just wasn't to be on the day. I think this season it's kind of like double-edged sword, because you initially go into the cup and it's a case of, do you want to win and progress in the cup and maybe have a tougher run to win the cup, or do you aim to go and get to the final of the plate? And for us as a group, we're so competitive and we're so together and resilient that we want to win everything. I think we had a bit of a laugh in the meeting room at the start of the season when we put up all the cups and competitions we'd be in, and it was a case of what are we aiming for, and one of the girls said we're going to win the FA Cup. So that's kind of like the base of our group and the optimism we have, albeit that was a bit stupid, but we'll roll with that. I think
you didn't say what FA Cup, to be fair, did you?
Yeah. I think it's just having that opportunity to go and play against other teams in different leagues and kind of see where we pitch against them. We played a lot of teams in higher opposition. We beat them, we comfortably beat them. And it kind of shows us that, moving forward, we're heading in the right direction and that we are strong and we're a force to be reckoned with on the day. So
yeah, because I noticed the FA Cup draw's been done already. Cheltenham Town away
just got promoted last season, so they are now Southern Prem League above us.
So one above us. But that didn't seem to phase last year. Like, there was Pompey, wasn't there? I know they were above, and penalties. Mad penalties win on that, wasn't there?
Yeah, so, I mean the whole thing. Like from, I think that was like the first game we played, wasn't it? Well, no, what did we play?
Oxford. We had Oxford.
That which was quite close, to be fair. We could have nicked that one, and then going into it, and we had to go all the way down to, that was Portishead, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And like there were some games where like
where was
like near like Exeter maybe? I don't know. Like it was like near Devon. It was really far.
Southwest.
Yeah.
It's just down that way.
There was just times where like we literally, we had some hard situations, and then they just come off us really. But I think there's a lot for us to play for this year, and there's no reason why, like what Faye says, we could be tactical back when we need to, but also I think we were able to go a lot further than what we think we could, because we proved it when we really didn't focus on it that much, which is the game goes back to the game by game and just taking it in our stride sort of thing really.
Superb. So I know you need to get to the fan zone. Trust me, it's amazing. Me and Rob, naked chips, best chips ever. Don't get a large portion.
Game tomorrow, can't
never. Is there anything healthy down there?
Athletes.
I'm sure no one would tell if you had the chips. They're amazing if you have them anyway. Remi, before you go, great summer for the ladies game in terms of Lionesses. Can't get away from that. How was that inspirational for yourself?
Yeah, I've followed them since I was younger, and I've always looked to play for England. And when they won the final, especially before the men, it was more exciting as a female myself to see them win. It's kind of inspired me to keep pushing in football.
Yeah. And I know from one of your Twitter pictures you were there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there.
What was it like?
Yeah.
It must have been an amazing atmosphere.
I was about 6 pints down as well. So that was
Sorry?
You're an athlete.
Yeah, I know. We had the
So
Sunday off. I had to enjoy it. I was like, there was no way. Off season. I enjoyed myself. Let's put it that way. We had the Sunday off, which worked out quite well. So a few of us were there. I went with Steph Mann, who's alongside her, who will do. And it was great. It was unbelievable, to be fair. I think to see that happen, and for what it's going to do for the game, it really is only the beginning. And I think there is at the end of the day, there is a product there, and there is something to really get behind, whether it's the business side or just for young girls and boys to be able to come along and watch and support it, and see the change from now. I think it's already come a long way. It's really exciting time to be involved in women's football.
Yeah, and you think about Wimbledon, we're probably a step ahead already with our academy, and I know one of my mates, he manages the ladies, the girls team, and that's amazing for them in terms of the encouragement. How did you find it? Enjoyable?
Yeah, I think for me it was very emotional. So, like personally, the amount of, and it will be across the board here with us, the amount that we've given up for football, the travel we've done for no money, for no sponsorships, and we haven't done it for any recognition other than the fact that we love football. And I think to go out there and see players now being able to have professional contracts and, you know, big sponsorships, and then go and win the Euros, it kind of, I think it reflected on the whole women's football community, the effort and the hard work that we've all put in over those years. It was almost like we all had something to celebrate. And yeah, I was just saying to Amy, I was laughing, I was just so emotional, I just couldn't stop crying. I didn't know what was wrong with me. It was as if I'd won it. And I feel like especially for players like Jill Scott, who she's done the same things that we've done. She's played for no money. She's worn the same boots for 3 seasons. She's had a part-time job alongside things. It hasn't always been full-time football for her, and to see her go and achieve something that great was unbelievable.
I think you're right, it was emotional. I must admit, from my point of view, I found it very easy, relatable to that team. You know, in terms of, I can't remember the player now, but when she's been interviewed and she went off to sing Sweet Caroline, and it was genuine, do you know what I mean? I sometimes think, like, in a way, yes, you're right in terms of not being paid and that sort of side of it, but they actually, in my opinion, they captured the spirit of the game, and it was great to watch. And also beat the Germans, let's be fair. You know.
My parents too, though. My dad called me like the morning after, and he was like, you know, your mum and I were sat there crying. Like, you know, there's times where, you know, we all play boys football, and I think that's great. I think it probably does make it better, but also, you know, it was always weird that girls would play with boys, and I think now it helps anyone that's coming into the game. You know, that you know, if you're a little girl and you want to go and play the boys, there's no problem with that. And I think it just, for my parents to say that was really like mad, really. And they gave up a lot of, and you know, parents, guardians gave up a lot of their time, like they do, to travel you around the country, and to see that, like you say, like what Faye was saying, you can have a realistic professional aspiration to be a professional footballer as a female is game changing. So
definitely. And they all play USA, don't they, in Wembley in a couple of months, and that's sold out in no time at all, which shows you. And I think the main thing is it's not just a flash in the pan. I don't think it will be. I think the women's game has really got so much potential.
I think that's what's important. Is we don't just live off that now. We continue to build the legacy. It's not, yes, we've won the Euros, women's football's great. It's well, how can we continue to improve it? Because there still are issues within the women's game. There still are things that aren't comparative, and things that need to be improved. And it's about us all kind of clubbing together and ensuring that the legacy continues, rather than that, as I think Leah Williams said, that wasn't the end, that was the beginning. And it's important that as a group and as a community we continue to improve it and go on forward.
Agree. And obviously that's not part of today, it's not start here, we've obviously done that before. Amy, you'll see, are you staying to watch the men's game?
Yeah, I think so.
We see not to.
Yeah, it'll be hot. I was like, I've got my tanning oil on.
Well, to be fair, you need to be in the East Stand. You'll get nothing in the West Stand with the shade.
I think we are.
Oh, if you're over there, you're laughing.
I think I'll need factor 50.
Yeah,
we need shade. Shade for the ginger.
Amy, predictions for today?
It's difficult because obviously it's a fresh season, so each team's only played 2 games, so it's kind of like, where are each team at so early in the season? But obviously Wimbledon had quite a good start, which is good. So I think it could be tight, but I'm going to go with the Dons win.
What score?
2-1.
Faye?
I'm going to go 3-0 Dons.
Well, that's a big scoreline, isn't it?
I'm feeling it.
Last time we were here, first game of the season, do you remember? It was like first game of Plough Lane, it was like Bolton, it was like 3-all.
Yeah, it's 3-all.
That was a great game, I enjoyed that.
So you going for 3-all?
Yeah, sure, I'm going to go 3-all, yeah. They always draw. And like last year, everyone was like, bloody hell, AFC Wimbledon men, they always draw. And I was like, yeah, that's true, so I'm going to draw.
Join Amy with a win? You can't say a defeat, can you really win with that? Sorry?
3-2 Wimbledon.
I live with a boring 1-0, to be honest with you.
I'll take anything for
take 1-0 and go home, yeah.
Well, look,
3 points and a clean sheet.
thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure, actually. And good luck today, and good luck, like I say, hashtag. You'll find all's Twitter. George is going to look at me with Twitter, but we've got all the details on there. But obviously, Carl Challoner, get down there. They're going to need your support. To be fair, don't really need support, don't bother into the hashtag anyway.
Yeah,
But,
big crowd, get the noise, bring the party, and we'll deliver on the pitch.
And good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And welcome back. And that was Stu's chat with 4 of our women's team ahead of their season.
Attention please,
opener
attention please.
next
Can
week.
Keith Brown
We'll just wait for this
go
announcement
to the
to go
first
so you
aid
can hear me
room
properly.
on the first floor concourse.
This is an exclusive for you listening at home, everybody. We're getting the... never had that before, have we? That's fun. So yeah, I have no idea what's saying. Yes, AFC Wimbledon Women, they start their season next week against #United on Sunday, 21st of August. So if you can get down there, please do so.
Attention please.
And we'll wait
Can
again.
Paul Chaxfield and Ryan Barnett. Paul Chaxfield and
Come on,
Ryan
Paul
Barnett.
Chaxfield and
Go
Ryan
to
Barnett.
reception please.
Yeah, please, gents, if you can, please, because I don't want that interruption ever again. We've never had that before inside the stadium, but anyway, I'm sure it's all fine. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. 9yrsTV will bring you all the build up to AFC Wimbledon versus Doncaster Rovers in League 2 this afternoon. I'm Nick Drake. We've had a little switch around on the desk. So to my far right, we have still got Rob Boyce, then Anne-Marie Godfrey on my right, and Aaron, our Doncaster Rovers fan, is joining us to discuss the team lineups, and we're hopefully not going to get attacked by a fly throughout this broadcast either. It's all happening.
I've already been attempted twice.
Yes, the live TV is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And in this heat as well, isn't it great? So let's get straight into it with team news and of today's fixture. We'll start with ourselves, and no great surprises here. We have reverted to the same team that started our 2 league games so far. So started away at Gillingham, home to Gillingham, and away at Hartlepool. So 3-5-2, as we know. Alex Pearce comes back in, as does Lee Brown. And Ethan Chislett as well comes straight back in. Josh Davison back into the starting lineup. No surprises for us there. Carl Hudlin has dropped off the bench, however. Not sure as why that is at the moment. Quayne Bartley takes his place on the subs bench. Otherwise, it is a very young bench. If we have a look at the Doncaster side, as I saw it loitering there somewhere. And there's Doncaster starting 11 there. Big news, well, Wimbledon fans watching, we're told this is a 4-3-3 that they'll be lining up with today. George Miller, Carl Hurst and Lee Tommel will be their forward 3. Captain Adam Clayton is fine. He's going to sit in the holding midfield role. There's not, Anne-Marie, Rob, not a great deal for us to discuss with our lineup, I suppose. I guess, Rob, it's just a case of 2 clean sheets, 4 points out of 6. No reason to change.
No reason to change. We played well in the first 2 games. Obviously, we changed the lineup on Tuesday, so I expected us to revert back to our previous lineup from the opening 2 games. The only disappointing thing is we don't have Hudlin on the bench, who is obviously our plan B. 6'9" target man, and obviously Quayne Bartley fills his position on the bench. So it's only disappointing really because we don't have that kind of plan B on us up our sleeve. But yeah.
Anne-Marie, Chris Gunter returns to right wing back. Isaac Ogundere came in on Tuesday night. I don't know, I'm still a little bit surprised that Gunter's playing at right wing back. I see him more as being sort of in the back 3, but I guess as we say, no reason to change it. But how do you think he's done so far in that role?
Agree with you that I was surprised. To be honest, when we first signed him, I didn't expect him to be in that position. To be honest, I was overall surprised bringing him in anyway. I think it's just a massive coup for us. I'm not sure what position he plays in for Wales. Obviously, at that level, it's a completely different setup. But like you said, it's early days. It's obviously worked the first couple of games for him. Again, he's a little bit older than maybe some of the other players in the squad. Not that there's anything wrong with being near 32, I think he is.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
But being a 23-year-old,
28. Let's not. Yeah.
But for him, if he's still able to produce and have that pace down that side, then why change it? But it was obviously really great to see Isaac in a midweek as well, and see a few new faces out there getting an opportunity. So.
Yeah, and we just have to mention a very, very young bench. Look at that. I think who's the eldest on there? Paul Canambai probably. Otherwise, we are sort of talking 19, 20-year-olds filling those positions. Our visitors today, then, Doncaster Rovers, they started the season similar to ourselves with 4 points out of 6, and then a League Cup exit on Tuesday night. Aaron, you said you've gone for a 4-3-3. Is this a change of shape for you? Is this not how you've lined up in your first 2 games?
Yes, I think the sort of last couple of games in the Carabao Cup especially, I think we sort of played with the 4-4-2 diamonds. We've been quite narrow. We've not really utilised the wing play a lot more, so Noel and Maxwell haven't had a lot to do. And you know, if the 4-3-3 is going to work, we've got to balance it on both sides, because I know the first 2 league games it's sort of been left side then right side then left side. So we've got to balance it on both sides rather than let one side do all the work while the other side stays stagnant and try and find something to do in the game. Because I know that both fullbacks have been having their stagnant moments in each game. Hopefully with the 4-3-3 we are going to be pushing forward a lot more with the wing play as well and utilising that a lot more. I think that having someone with Lee Tomlin's technical experience on the wing will be a great bit of experience to the side. I know the stupid red card, which I do forgive him for in the end, because at the end of the day he is still a crucial part of our plan in terms of going forward. But I think one particular player that I want to watch out for today is Carl Hurst, because on the wing he's been an exceptional talent so far. Even on the worst games he's had a decent game for me. I think that his technical ability, his on-off ball creativity, I think he makes stuff move, he makes stuff happen. Miller got his first goal against Sutton United and then just went from there, so hopefully we'll see more of Miller as a pressing forward today in the 4-3-3. But it's the formation that I wanted to see us play today, and of course it's great to see Tom Anderson back in the starting lineup, as well as our 3 exciting youth prospects on the bench as well: Bobby Faulkner, Tamonga Kulea, and also Liam Ravenhill, who's just like his dad when it comes to tackles. Bradford fans should know about that. Ricky Ravenhill, if you didn't know already. But yeah, very happy with that lineup. Best team we could have gone for, we were being out for today, and we'll see what we do. Like I said, similar record to you guys, so we'll see how we get on today.
Have you made a lot of changes from last season? Lots of summer signings to you, or is this a lot of this squad from last season as well?
Some of the signings are from last season. You had Adam Clayton, Kieran Agard from January, Mitchell from January, Moyle from this time last year, but Anderson coming back as well. He's been here for a few years now. But most of it is new signings: Carl Hurst, Adam Long on the bench, who we paid a fee for, George Miller from Barnsley. Most of them are brand new signings that we brought in this summer, and it wasn't just about the new signings for me personally. It was about making backroom changes, and I think the biggest change was bringing in an actual director of football model, a head of football operations model, which the legendary James Coppinger, who wears the number 26 with pride, takes that role for the first time since we had our last director of football, which was Brian Flynn in 2013-2014. So, I think it's not just about the signings on the pitch, it's been the signings off the pitch, changing the physio department because of the amount of injuries we got last year. The recruitment team's been improved as well. Graham Young has gone, he's now Watford's head of recruitment. And we've now got Michael Kearney in as head scout, and that's the model we go down. So, great signings on the pitch, and that's been the most of the squad, but we've made great signings off the pitch as well, and hopefully it's a new chapter for the club.
Your expectations in this season, are you looking to be in the top 7 come the end of it? Is that the aim, or are you looking just to consolidate after relegation?
Every single Rovers fan wants promotion, either automatically or via the playoffs. That has to be the expectation. Get back into League One as soon as possible, because only 2-3 years ago we were sort of around that playoff semi-final against Challoner under Grant McCann, and since then it just seemed to all fell apart, and it was a squad of loanees under Darren Moore. We couldn't get a rhythm together, and then he left for Sheffield Wednesday when it looked like we were going to be top at Christmas, and just seemed to all die a death and fall apart in the last 18 months. So for me, I feel like it has to be promotion back to League One, but don't stop investing there. So we've done some great investment in League Two, but keep that going in League One with that extra bit of quality, and the board will start getting fans back on side. Because if we have another season like last season when we finished near the conference relegation places, then I'll say this publicly right now, and I'm a big supporter of the board. I do fear the fans will turn on them and protests will begin, because I don't want that to happen for them, because we're a club that's made profit, we're a club that has done some great stuff with the family market and great stuff off the field. But if things don't start happening on the pitch, then fans are going to turn even more, because there are fans even now that are against the board, and that's their opinion. But the more it goes wrong, the more people start to turn.
I mean, you've said they're coming down to League. You were in the Championship not so long ago. This is our meeting today. I think it's our first meeting as League Two teams. We've met a number of occasions over the past few years in League One, and we're going to revisit some of those occasions now. Starting with, I think, a famous victory for us. You might not think so much, but for us, as we were battling relegation in 2019, Doncaster visited. We were struggling down the bottom, expected to go down, and we got a little bit of a helping hand from John Marquis,
who just scored for Bristol Rovers today as well.
He has scored this morning for Bristol Rovers after the early kick-off. picks up a booking early on there, and then after this chance, which is blocked by Aaron Ramsdale, our goalkeeper plays an absolute blinder, runs into Marquis, and somehow, at the end of all that, Marquis is adjudged to be the one at fault, and he is sent off. That is what we call gamesmanship, I think, from Mr. Ramsdale there.
I think it might be. I think it was a very comical sending off compared to Lee Tomlin this year. Bit of memories from that.
Yes, and then we got lucky there. Fortunate header gets us in down the side, and Steve said, fantastic finish into the far corner. We really needed 3 points in this game at that time, and then as we are coming into the closing stages, Shane McLaughlin still doing jobs in League One with Morecambe.
Yeah.
Slides it away very, very nicely.
The marking on that goal should have been a lot better for me, I think, looking back on it.
Were you chasing an equaliser maybe in the final stages?
I think we were, and I think the block and the marking after that block on the second attempt, the marking could have been a little bit better.
2-1 here. Tom Lodge is not with us to celebrate a Callum Riley goal. We got 1-0 down.
Great header goal.
Anne-Marie, do you have any recollection of this game?
I feel like a lot of the Kings Meadow home games did sort of merge into one, but I was just wondering if the camera was going to span there so Aaron could see our away end, because then you didn't get to have that experience. I think I definitely remember Ford scoring this pen.
Yeah.
Marks Ford sets up keeping away, definite penalty there.
To be fair, the penalty came from losing the ball in the first place, so the strength to lose the ball in that place was weak anyway, so it was our mistake no matter what.
I think at that stage it was refreshing to have someone who could score penalties.
Yeah.
I think that's why I remember it so starkly.
Possible handball there. Looking back on it, I don't think that was a handball. I think it was very soft contact, but we can take anything we can get, and then up the other end.
And Force, who we would later go to lose, plays it on Callum Riley. As he did, gets up and down, gets in. Rob, were you a big fan of Callum Riley? I'll let you talk about him because Tom's not here.
I like Callum Riley, you know. I'm surprised to see he's dropped all the way down to the National League. I think he could still do a job in League Two. You know, I think he could even be a squad player for us, to be honest with you. I liked him. Good player.
Now this is a very important game. This was the first game we played at Plough Lane. Obviously still under COVID lockdown rules, so no fans in attendance, but this was our welcome home. Against Doncaster, Terrell Thomas there gets a low ball in and stopped for the first goal.
Again, Markham could have been better on that.
Joe Piggott, ridiculous amount of goals he scored for a struggling League One side.
This was a nice goal here, nice ball over the top, nice run inside, you saw the overlap, ball inside, tries to go for it, one attempt and then the second attempt there, it's a great goal.
A bit fortuitous with the rebound off of there, but took it very, very well.
That wasn't meant to be in the script, that goal, you know. That was
Yeah,
almost
it was.
like you weren't meant to score that.
Well, if that wasn't, what comes later absolutely 100% wasn't, but we come back into it, there's Joe Piggott again, and
right place, right time.
the crowd goes wild. Great finish though from Joe Piggott, scored his first goal for Portsmouth in the week in the Cup.
Yeah.
And, but then, last knock-ins, injury time, and I think it was a bit of a, if I remember rightly, there was poor header away and the deflection actually. I was thinking, where's the deflection coming? I thought it just come before that actually. I thought it looped up on the cross, but yeah, there it was.
Yeah. And I think that was wasn't that legend James Coppinger on that
I
one?
believe it was James Coppinger.
Yeah, number 26. The guy who's been a long-term servant will always love his playing time at the club. He's always been a fan favourite.
Now, were you here last season for this one?
Yes, I was. Again, that first goal, way too easy to concede. The marking on the back post was awful. I think Wimbledon, set piece wise, took their shape really well, and I think they were well organised in that particular moment.
Well, we're going to come on to it, so what happens after this, but at this point, when we get I think it's Luke McCormick, isn't it, who scores the second goal. At this point, it's a great moment. This was as comfortable a victory as you would ever expect to see. Given our long winners run at the time, we were all over Doncaster.
We was in cruise control at this point. It's almost like it was too comfortable. You know, it's almost like we fell asleep for 5 minutes and got punished. Because up until the hour mark, Doncaster didn't have a shot, and then within about 4 minutes of madness, they were back in the game at 2-2, and we were hanging in for the last 20 minutes because we were scared to lose effectively. After throwing away a 2-0 lead.
I think for me, one of the main benefits of that comeback in that particular match was Tommy Rowe. Obviously came back in the summer on that season from Bristol City after he's out of contract. Richie Wellens brought him back, McSheffrey took him on for the rest of the season and beyond. And again, I think it feels like Tommy Rowe was one of the main men that was trying to dictate the play, trying to get involved, ignite the comeback, and You know, you can see he loves the club. He absolutely loves the club, and he said he wouldn't go anywhere. So
he's starting for you today, isn't he?
He is, yeah. And again, he's going to be very, very crucial. Yes, he's one of the older players in the squad, but he's a very nice playmaker. Dictates the play. He's got strength. He's got passion. He loves the club deep down. I mean, this should have been an absolutely brilliant opportunity. Lots on the line, but for me, the other player in the middle should have took his chance first. I think he should have took dictate of that particular attack.
I thought this was in it when I was watching this live in the stands.
Great save by Jonathan Mitchell.
And there we go. I mean, if you're using past performance to judge what will happen today, it'll probably be a 2-2 draw. But also get crosses in the box, because apparently neither team can actually defend crosses at all. But I think that's changed this season. We shall see. Aaron, obviously you're going to head behind the goal. To view. So what's your feelings about today's game? As you say, we both come into it with a win and a draw from our first two. Are you coming here? Are you looking for a result today? Are you still looking at this stage of the season for a performance?
Probably both. I said on my Matchday launch show yesterday, if we're going to go with the 4-4-2 diamond play again, I feel like it would have been either a 1-1 draw or a 2-1 loss. But now we've gone with the 4-3-3. Now I can see we've got our sort of strongest 11 out available on the pitch. For me, I'm going to stick with a 1-1 draw, but I might be playing it safe here. I just think we've been underperforming even in the games where we're taking points, and we've really underperformed on Tuesdays in Cups. So for me, I think I'll stick with a 1-1 draw for now, and we'll see what happens. If we win today, then it's a great victory for Gary McSheffrey on his birthday. So happy birthday to Gary McSheffrey, and happy birthday to Johnny Jackson for Monday.
Do you think you've moved away from the diamond to combat our wing backs? Obviously, we play 5 at the back. You're playing 4-3-3 today. Is that to combat our width? Yeah.
I reckon so. I think to be fair though, Lincoln played the 4-3-3 and we still played the 4-4-2 diamond, and the main reason we did that was because we had a lack of wingers. Because Molyneux's out till Stockport, we had Taylor still out for a few weeks, Barlow as well, coming back from injury pre-season. So I think we were developing with a lack of wingers, but for a striker like Andrews, who's 6'5", and Agard, who did well in a 4-3-3 system when he was playing in different clubs, it didn't suit our strikers. Andrews couldn't work aerially without wingers. So in the 4-4-2 narrow diamond, he couldn't work as an aerial threat as much as he would do with wingers. So I want to give Andrews a chance with wingers, but I think the diamond just didn't really work for me. I think it's one of those formations where we have to see out a match before we think about playing it for 90 minutes.
The other factor, of course, today will be the weather. It's beautiful sunshine. Tom Large has actually been out already. Aaron, we're going to say thank you very much at this point, and we're going to shoot over to Tom, who's been out about the crowd, getting the fans' opinions of today's game with Doncaster Rovers.
Guys, we're back in the South Stand fan zone once again, and I'm joined by Xavier. So, Xavier, where have you travelled from today to get to the game? That's quite a round trip. So, are you excited for today? Lovely stuff. And then, the most important thing, what's your score going to be today? Good answer. Hopefully we get you a new Wimbledon shirt as well, get that different one, yeah? Lovely stuff. So guys, we're now pitch side, and I'm joined by Matt and Liam. Matt, what's your score prediction for today?
Davison will score 2 goals, and I can Chislett will score another outside the box banger. That's what I reckon.
It's a big prediction. I'm a big fan of that. Liam, tell me, what are you thinking?
I'm going 2-0 Dons. I think Davison will grab one, and I'm going to back Jack Curry to get another one as well.
Jack Curry, a massive fan favourite. Davison, he gets that goal. I think he starts that run. Matt, I know you went to Hartlepool last week. What are your thoughts on that, and what do you want to see at any changes today?
It's a bit of a dull game, to be honest with you. What I want more is just simply getting more shots on target, and the goals will eventually come. And this is why I think Davison, once he gets a few goals in, his confidence will start. He works very hard on the pitch, so once he scores, his confidence will be really high, and I think he could have a good season with us.
And Liam, you mentioned Jack Curry. Give me a couple of words just on what you think of the man.
Unbelievable player, unreal player.
I think that'll do. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Tom. A cracking array of shirts there. We were just dusting the white LNX top. However, Stu was just off camera explaining to us how he really loved that top. Not my favourite one. It was always that. You remember the white that we beat Palace 3-0 with the Carl Lieber and 2 headers. That was the best of the best. But anyway, we're now been joined by Matt Harwood. With thanks to Aaron for joining us from Doncaster Rovers, talking over their prospects. What about our prospects? We had a bit of a disappointment in the week. We had a 2-0 defeat to Gillingham in a game that, Matt, we really did have the better of, I feel, over the 90 minutes, but somehow contrived to lose.
the stats backed us up for once. I'm not going to go into the stats in any depth at all, but our shot count is good. I would be more worried if we weren't creating chances. It's just finishing at the moment that seems to be the issue. But we're really only this is the third game of the season, so it's not a panic mode yet or anything like that, or the fly attacks, mate. But I think we just need to be a bit more clinical.
Yeah, 100%. This was the team that played against Gillingham, and this was the highlight. We could, Anne-Marie, have gone behind in the first couple of minutes. What a chance that was for Jason Walker. Jason Walker, I can never remember. Jason Walker played for Luton, missed penalty in the playoff final. Yeah, as Matt says, it's just a case really of, especially with the two young blokes up front, getting to know each other, playing each other. On another day, one of those chances goes in and we see it out, don't we?
Yeah, and that's it. And I think part of it was we had a very different squad on Tuesday to what we had on Saturday. But like you said, looking at the positives as an ever positive person, if we had conceded that goal earlier in the match, maybe last season, that would have completely killed us. But whereas in this game, we showed that resilience for a longer period of time. And I think one of the things that struck me from Johnny Jackson's Meet the Manager is just having that. He was talking about just having that experience to see out games. And I know obviously it didn't work for us on Tuesday, but I think having that kind of experience, making the sensible kind of professional decisions on the pitch, we were able to extend that for a good chunk of the match on Tuesday. Unfortunately, it all fell apart a bit at the end, but we park it, we move on, and hopefully today we can see some heads up, keep going, keep that momentum going, and really look forward to it.
We just see the first goal there from Challoner very late on. Rob, we're going to see it again with the second goal. It's a great finish, it is, but could we not have been stronger in the build-up there? Let's talk about the second goal here. The ball comes to green there. Chislett and Magoma not strong enough in the first goal. It looked like, could argue that Jacker and George Marsh not strong enough in the challenges.
Yeah, the most frustrating thing with the first goal, not only did it come in the 89th minute, but we let the striker come inside. He was looking to come inside and get that strike off. We definitely could have been a bit more stronger in the challenge in midfield. We kind of gave the ball away, maybe a bit tired legs as well late on in the game. We're only the third game into the season, so to be fair, I'm not too disappointed to go out the first round of the League Cup. It's a non-consistent season. We've got about 50 odd games still to play, so we dust ourselves off, and today's more the big one for me.
Come back to this point though about young players and young mentality. It was an even younger team, as you say there, Anne-Marie, on Tuesday night. And we've got this issue, I say issue again today. You look at our bench, and it is very young, and young players can be very hit and miss. Do you think we're still looking to bring in experience? We've still got time left before the window shuts. Do you think we're looking to do that? And if we are going to do that, in what areas do you think we need to do that?
I think in terms of the experience, we've got Gunter, Pearce, Brown. Last season and the season before, we were chomping the bit for players like that in our squad, regardless of what position they're in. We are blessed to have those players, and I really hope that does pay off for us this season. I expect from personal footballing point of view that maybe if we are going to bring in more players, it would be kind of based on position rather than experience. I think we've got where those gaps are. It would come down to more that side of things that Johnny's looking for. He spoke openly, he doesn't want to rush it. Doesn't want to rush getting players in. He'd rather have the right people around. Some of those players on that bench are just unbelievable. Nathan Young-Coombs, he's very, very young, but when you hear him in his interviews, you'd think he was an old man trapped in a young man's body. He's very down to earth and wise, and so obviously Johnny's and his team have worked hard to try and pick out good characters. So we shall see.
Matt, what areas would you look to strengthen? Which do you think we perhaps could be looking to?
I think some cover for maybe right wing back. I think Gunter play right wing back on Tuesday.
He moves into one of the three.
So maybe he would be one of those half or cover for them. But I think we still need someone right wing back, and I would mainly think about maybe another midfielder, possibly more of a playmaker, and then go from there. It's the strength in depth I think that we need to try and get right. I think that's what we're working on. I think JJ's just biding his time because we've got an abnormally long time from the start of the season to the end of the transfer window, so it's a bit different than most other ones we've experienced.
Yeah, that's because the season started early, and of course we haven't actually won a game since July. I mean, this is panic station time. Right. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching on YouTube, Facebook, put your comments, put your score predictions for today's game and let us know where you are watching from. We'll get some of your comments on the screen. But let's have a look now at what is happening in the division today. We have a full complement of games, which is nice, unlike some divisions, because every other division seems to have some random fixture problems this weekend. They're all kicking off at different times, different days. West Brom and Sheffield United playing tomorrow because Sky moved their League Cup game to Thursday night. So, you know, it sucks to be them. Anyway, in League 2 today, standout fixtures there. I mean, the one I'm really interested in, is Crewe. Because Crewe have won their first 2 games against Rochdale and Harrogate, teams that are expected to finish probably in the bottom 6, if not, certainly in the bottom 6, those two. So I think an actual test for them today is Salford away, see how they get on there. Stockport County are still looking for their first win of the season after promotion, as are Grimsby in the league. Stockport host Colchester, a home fixture they'll be expecting to win, although they're expected to beat Barrow. Grimsby travel to Rochdale in an early, dare I say, relegation battle. Rob, anything there that takes your eye that I've not mentioned?
You know what, I'm looking forward to seeing the result out of Walsall and Stevenage.
Yeah.
Walsall obviously top of the league, and Stevenage have got off to a good start under Stevie Evans. So I'm intrigued to see how them two get along today, to be honest with you, at the top of the table. I mean, it's really early, it's too early to tell, is it? We're only 2 games in. You know, the league don't really start taking shape until about 10 games in at the moment, so nothing for me which really I'm keeping an eye on today. Just the main thing for me is I just want to pick up a point or 3 ourselves and, you know, stay towards the playoffs.
Anne-Marie, when you look at this team, who are you thinking would come the end of the season? Who are you expecting to be up towards the top?
I'd love to say us.
Sorry, I should have said that.
Alongside us at the end of the season. You know, the fixture, I agree with you, Nick, that the Salford Crewe game stands out for me because ultimately, you know, with the backstory of the ownership at Salford and some of the players they've got in, you'd expect there to be quite a lot of pressure and intent that they go through this season. Whether I think that they'll be there is maybe a different question. I don't know. It's a long season, and like Rob says, it takes 10 games or so to really kind of bed in and see where you're up to. I think that even though it's only based on 1 game in, I think Walsall will probably linger around the top 3 for most of the season. I think they're well run, got a good squad, and you can all laugh at me when they get relegated. So
I just think Walsall have got this massive advantage in the fact that people don't have to travel all across Europe to go and play them. It's a really difficult trip to Warsaw. It's very cold as well, which would be great on a day like today because we are absolutely all sweltering in these conditions.
Can I also just add, I'm also intrigued by Crawley Towns as well. I didn't expect to see them at the bottom of the league. You know, they've got Don Telford in the summer. You know, they've got new owners.
Yeah.
I don't think the new owners will be too happy with the money spent seeing them at the bottom of the league. And obviously we travel to them next Saturday, where I would imagine will be a sellout for us. So yeah, hopefully they don't pick up 3 points and get any confidence today, to be honest with you.
Yes, now I've not much about Crawley, but as Rob was talking there, I realised Mansfield, who we've got on Tuesday night, they're away at Leighton Orient today, so I imagine they're probably going to spend the weekend in the capital. Do you think Mansfield can repeat their playoff charge of last season? With Anthony Hartigan now?
It's still early doors, but I mean, Leighton Orient look like they've done well. They've got George McCurry. We know all about them, and I think they'll be up there this season. I think the interesting one for me is Bradford, both teams to be up there at the end of the season, and they both had a bit of a shaky start, but it's interesting to see who wins that.
So yeah, we'll have all the results, of course, on the full-time show after we finished here. That is it for League 2 so far. So that brings us to just finishing off with today's fixture. And Stuart Deacon's won our predictions. Stu, how have you done that? Stu has done this magically. Like, I don't know how he's done this.
Maybe there's 2 Stuart Deacons.
What?
This is Stuart Deacon's 1. Maybe our Stuart Deacons is Stuart Deacons 0.
It's the real Stuart Deacon.
Is this the real Stuart Deacon? It's got the polo shirt named after him in the club shop. So that explains it. It's not this Stuart. That explains it. Because otherwise we're thinking, how on earth has Stu got his own polo top in the club shop? Predictions, yes, let's get on to predictions. Let's start with you, Rob.
I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. I think because we've kept 2 clean sheets in our opening games, law of averages suggests we're true to let one in. And I think with the heat, I just can't see there being a lot of goals as well, you know. So I think a 1-1 draw today.
I went for a Desmond last time, and about us winning 2-0. So if I go for a Desmond again, hopefully we win 2-0.
Nice, I like your logic there. And Anne-Marie?
I agree with Rob. I think that we will probably concede on the law of averages, and I think we'll win 2-1.
2-1, wow. Myself, I am going for a 1-1 draw. But do you know what I was saying to Rob earlier? With the way the heat is today, and I haven't checked full times from the early kickoffs, all the early kickoffs, whoever seemed to score first, that seems to be game over, because in the heat it's very difficult to get yourself up again and to really push. Like this year we're much better side, obviously. So I think if there are goals today, whoever scores first might well end up winning.
It depends on whether teams are going to operate. Teams that would normally operate with a high press.
Yeah.
That really energy sapping in this heat. So it's going to really change tactics for a lot of teams. So it'll be interesting to see.
I think that subs today is going to be massive in terms of the timing, who they bring off, who they bring on, like because of the heat. And they're picking out who's the most fatigued out there. Because obviously players are going to want to push themselves through the barrier to stay on. But ultimately, it's important to be honest. If you get in sort of 60-70 minutes and you're absolutely blowing and you can't, we've got a really, really young bench, bring on that fresh energy. It'll be interesting to see when they time them.
Doncaster made brilliant use in the last game against Southampton, scored 2 late goals.
Yes, we did, yes. Yeah, beat Sutton in the last game, 2 goals in injury time. Yeah, it's great. And Anne-Marie, what I'd worry about that, Rob, is the fact that Doncaster probably have a little bit more proven quality on the bench to change it with that.
Yeah, I think it's obvious to me that I personally think we need 3 or 4 bodies still, especially if Luke McCormack is off this window. I think we need a position in both wing backs. I would like us personally to sign Paul Soooo and get him back and sign down the contract. That's because he's an option to cover both wing backs, and then I'd like a right wing back as well, just because I think Hunter serves playing in the centre back position. So yeah, I'd still like 3 or 4 bodies in. I think we do look a bit light today on the bench. There's 5 of the players are from our academy, which is great, but obviously they just don't have that experience which they need. And it's so. But then at the same time, there's fresh legs, energy, a lot of enthusiasm. So yeah, we'll see.
Someone who doesn't have fresh legs is Mark Hendricks. Sorry, Mark. He was giving us his prediction of 3-1, a late third goal on the counter-attack. No, I've said it won't happen. Hey, Mark, if it does, you'll sure to message at the full-time show to rub it in our faces, not literally. But thank you. Any other predictions we got? Or just Mark? So just Mark. Giles Rush simply says again, thank you, Giles, for tuning in from Valencia. Oh my word, if it's hot here, I can only imagine how warm it is down. But Giles, I hope you keep it cool, and I hope you enjoy the game this afternoon. I think that's it. I think we're going to go and take our places. I haven't looked behind me just yet to see if the stadium is filling up. I'm not anticipating a bigger crowd today because of the heat. A number of people probably put off by travelling. Chain strike as well. Not sure if Doncaster will match the numbers they brought last time because of that. We'll see. But hopefully it's good atmosphere. Hopefully we can pick up our second 3 points of the season. But that is it. So Rob, Anne-Marie, Matt, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for Spike for directing. Thank you for Stu, interview the ladies team earlier. Aaron, Doncaster fan. We'll be back after full time with a wrap up of what happened today. Wherever you're watching, however you're following the game, please enjoy it. Please stay cool. And yeah, we'll see you about 5 o'clock.